Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Excuse me. Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor McGlasson?
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Tempori?
Here.
Councilman Boyd?
Here.
And Councilman Ruthven will not be here tonight.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, our first item on our agenda, I invite Bruce Barber up to do the stormwater presentation.
Thank you for having me this evening. This is, believe it or not, the 20th annual stormwater report since they invented stormwater in 2003. That's when the DEC and DEP got together and put together a permit requirement to discharge stormwater to are considered the waters of the United States or the waters of New York State. And as a result, the town has maintained this permit satisfactorily for the last 20 years. And every year, this requirement is made to come before the board and give the board and the public an opportunity to hear where we are with the stormwater management program and to ask any questions. So before I get started, I first of all want to acknowledge the people that actually did put this stormwater report together, because I compiled the notes and I compiled the numbers, but this report really is reflective of the very, very hard work of a variety of townspeople and departments that work to get this done. Highway Department, the Parks and Recreation Department, the Lake Carmel Park District, the Building Department, Planning Department, Planning Board, Town Clerk's Office, the Town Board, and a variety of other people as well, all put this together and provide this data through their work to maintain compliance with the town. So this particular report is similar to the rest in that there are particularly 6 what are called minimum measures that need to be complied with. And the first minimum measure is called public education. The town has a variety of venues where the public can learn more about stormwater. There are 2 websites, or 2 links, I should say, on the town website. The first is an actual stormwater link, which has a listing of all the annual reports, including this one. If the public wishes to read the report, they can certainly download it or review it on the town website. The second website is the Kent Lakes Association website, which has a litany of downloads and information about stormwater, about pollutant loading, about phosphorus. There's also several videos that were from prior presentations that were made to the public that they can download and watch from the health department, from invasive species management program professionals, etc. So there's that method that can be looked at as well. And then also with respect to public education, part of what is happening every month is, I'm sure you're aware, the Town of Kent has a consultants meeting where we invite the public to come in with potential projects and discuss them with us. And so we are afforded the opportunity to do a lot of education under those venues as well. Additionally, this year, as has been the case for several years, the Town of Kent is hosting a regional lake conference. And that is attended by Kent residents and surrounding residents that are interested in stormwater and lake management programming. So there's a variety of ways that people can take a look at stormwater, whether they want to read about it, download some links, watch some videos, come into the town and ask questions at the consultants meeting, in addition to go to some presentations. So we're fulfilling the requirements for public participation in a variety of ways. The second minimum measure is public participation. People want to get involved and find out more and actively participate in stormwater issues. So again, the Kent Consultants meeting allows people to come in and work with the town on any stormwater projects that they have in mind or what stormwater impacts might be present for projects that they're proposing. The Planning Board also has public hearings for virtually every application, of which there are many stormwater related because we're in the east of Hudson watershed here, so disturbances of land 5,000 square feet or greater requires approval by the Planning Board, and so we see a lot of those projects, and there's public participation in that as well. Town Board, when you have occasion to have stormwater related elements, people can come and participate at public hearings. There was recently a stormwater, a cleanup in town, which is actually part of stormwater management to clean up all the debris, or what are called floatables. And basically that was done recently, and that is something that didn't happen in COVID. It's great to see it's happening again. And that's also the way people can participate. And lastly, this meeting, because we're here, and if people have questions and they want to participate in this meeting, they're certainly welcome to do so. So we're also achieving the requirements for public participation as well. Minimum measure number 3 is illicit discharge detection and elimination. That's pipes, point discharges that are running into receiving waters, streams, wetlands, lakes, etc., carrying with them pollutants such as septic system discharge or oftentimes laundry water, sometimes grease and materials coming from floor drains, etc. And so that is a cooperative effort between the Highway Department to detect them and the Building Inspector's Office to make sure that we run those down. We get the Health Department involved with the septic system and the laundry issues. And I'm happy to say there were 5 illicit discharges in the last reporting period, and all 5 have been corrected. The fourth component of the permit has to do with construction, stormwater review. Every single project that is before the town that disturbs more than 5,000 square feet, and actually 2,000 square feet or more on steep slopes, or has 100 cubic yards of material brought to the site or brought away from the site, requires a stormwater permit, or what's called a steep slope and erosion sediment control permit. Those are all reviewed by the town engineer and my office, also by the building inspector's office. They are required to go through the planning board to obtain their permits, and they obtain permits with certain conditions, and after that there are inspections, so that if there is a requirement for erosion controls to be put up or things of that nature, they are installed and they're inspected to make sure they're installed properly to ensure that we don't have runoff coming off the site and containing any sediment, within that area. So there were several what are called stormwater pollution prevention plans reviewed. Every site is inspected at least once, and that's all detailed in the report as well. Number 5 is construction management or stormwater construction management. Those are the kinds of things where you see all around Lake Carmel, those large pits which are called either stormwater basins or wet ponds or detention structures, things like that where stormwater is running in, and in some way, shape, or form they're being treated, and then the water that's discharging is going to be hopefully cleaner than going in, and especially less phosphorus material coming out versus going in. So we have several of those structures, and the Highway Department does some of the work in what are called hydrodynamic separators or vaults. Stormwater goes in, it's collected and then discharged. The Lake Carmel Park District does an amazing job doing the work around Lake Carmel to maintain all of those. I inspect them with Frank and the crew from Lake Carmel to make sure they're in meeting with DEC inspection requirements and maintenance requirements, and all of that is put together in a report and sent to East of Hudson as well. So all of those post-construction practices are being inspected, and as we see more projects before the planning board, there are going to be more stormwater practices going into play. Today, we were just out at Seven Hills Lake, meeting with the principal engineer of East of Hudson, taking a look at the intersection of Rambler Road and Seven Hills Drive to see if there's a stormwater practice that might fit in that location as well. So this is kind of an active thing between East of Hudson and projects that are before the town for development. And then lastly is number 6, which is what are called good housekeeping, the municipality taking care of their own stormwater. Has to do with parking lots being swept, roads being swept, catch basins being cleaned, swales being inspected. And this is all, of course, the province of the highway superintendent, and they do a tremendous job taking care of all of these particular structures and maintaining them in accordance with DEC standards. So in general, that's the stormwater report for this year. The details and the numbers are in the report if you wish to review them. But basically, that's where we are, and I suggest to you that based upon the data compiled, that you are in compliance with your MS4 permit. Any questions? Sound good?
Thank you.
Questions?
Public
Okay.
comment? No?
If there's no questions, then if I can ask the town board to authorize the town supervisor to sign the annual report at her convenience. The report needs to be up in Albany at DEC by no later than June 1st.
Great.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Let's just see. I don't know.
Okay. For you, or you want me to? So, make a motion for a resolution. This is for removal of stop signs. Is that what we're doing here? That's what I have.
I was just handing it up for you.
Oh,
Not
updated.
yet.
I don't know, is there a resolution
For the stormwater?
to authorize me to sign? So you can just make a motion to authorize me to sign the MS4 report.
All right, so I'll make a motion to authorize the signature of the what was the number?
On the MS4
MS4
annual
form,
report.
annual report, wastewater annual report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Our next item is to set the public hearing for the excavation and soil removal. Since Chris is not here tonight, he has all this, I don't know if,
I was going to say, there was a timeline with the date that we thought we were going to have the hearing. I don't have that with me because I didn't realize he would not be here.
I didn't either. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. Mine's not mine's not going back that far. And Bruce left, because Bruce is the one that made the timeline. I can't pull it up on, we all got the email, but I can't go back that far. Oh, maybe I can.
All right, so I don't know if this was final.
So,
He has June 20th announced date of public hearing, July 11th for the resolution, July 18th for the public hearing.
right, I just pulled that up.
So
I think
we
can
could wait.
We can hold off until Chris is back with, because he has the draft and everything, he was working on that, so, we will table that for the next time.
And that way, if the steps that are in this timeline that precede the announcement of the hearing don't end up getting done on time, we're not going to be changing things around. So I make a motion to defer this item, if that's necessary.
Table it, whatever.
Table means you have to vote to put it back on.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Postpone to time certain is more typical, but okay, whatever.
Yes.
And anyway, I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Our next item is the Miller Hill, the removal of the stop sign. We've had this on now this is the third meeting. Is there any public comment on the removal of the stop sign? Any board members have any?
Sue Kotzer, is everybody aware of the actual sign, like where it is? On the Kent side, near the Madden Outdoor Education Facility, which I believe is closed.
It is closed.
I don't know why the stop sign is still there, so.
And that's why we're taking care of
It
it.
it does slow traffic down. I stop for it. Other people I know do not stop for it because no one's monitoring it, but I don't see why it's still there. There's no children. I don't think there's anybody living in the house. So, yeah.
And I've received no emails, no communication to my office either way, so
Yeah, okay.
I ask that we vote tonight to remove the stop sign.
So I'll make a motion for a resolution for the removal of the stop signs. Here it says Miller Hill and then Woods Court?
Miller Hill Woods Court.
Woods Court, okay. Let's see. So whereas Richard T. Othmer, Highway Superintendent, has recommended the removal of a stop sign that is no longer necessary on Miller Hill, Woods Court, and whereas the town board wishes to follow the recommendations of the Highway Superintendent. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the removal of the stop sign at Miller Hill, Woods Court.
Make that motion.
I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Our next item is for the planning board they're asking us to remove a member due to poor attendance or not attending at all, and to appoint an alternate member to the board as they are seeing a need to have it because in June, they're going to have a problem having a quorum if they don't have an alternate member by then. So I'm asking that we appoint, what's his first?
Richard Marini?
Yes, to, as the alternate member. Yes. Yeah, yeah, do you want to read that one?
Sure.
Okay,
Just eliminate that.
yes.
So am I reading both, that and then the Marini?
Yes, please.
Okay. I make a motion to adopt the resolution for the removal of a planning board member for the town of Kent. Whereas the town board has been informed that a member of the planning board has been absent from meetings since January 2023, and whereas pursuant to town law 271, parentheses 9, the town board wishes to hold a public hearing regarding the removal of Phil Tolmack as a member of the planning board due to his failure to meet the minimum attendance requirements necessary to be a member of the planning board. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing on the removal of Phil Tolmack as a member of the planning board at the town hall in the town of Kent, New York, at 7:00 p.m. on
We have to set,
2 weeks.
The next meeting is June 6th.
On June 6th, 2023, to consider the removal of said person. And be it further resolved that the town clerk publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Kent of said public hearing at least 5 days prior thereto. I make that motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution appointing an alternate member to the planning board. Whereas there is a vacancy for the position of alternate member on the planning board, and the town board wishes to appoint Richard Marini as an alternate member of the planning board. Now therefore be it resolved that Richard Marini be appointed to the planning board as an alternate member. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item on the agenda is to hire a seasonal worker for Parks and Rec, and I'm just asking, it's to hire William Peterson III, that's on our resolutions, but to also add Emerson Appleyard as well. We got his application in today, and he's worked for us before, and I'd like to have both of them start as we need them immediately. Any comment?
Emerson Appleyard.
Emerson Appleyard.
I can read if you want.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution to hire seasonal park maintenance workers for recreation and parks. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill vacant positions for seasonal park maintenance workers for Recreation and Parks Department. And whereas by letter dated May 4th, 2023, Karen Schuman, Senior Recreation Assistant, has recommended the hiring of William Peterson III and Emerson Appleyard to work under the supervision of Chris Kehoe, effective May 17th, 2023. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendation as further detailed above, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of William Peterson III and Emerson Appleyard as seasonal park maintenance workers for the Recreation and Parks Department at the hourly rate of...
So we have that scale that we voted on last time, so it would go off that scale.
As per the previously approved scale, which will be amended here too, effective May 17th, 2023. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Our next item is, we have a bunch for Lake Carmel. So we want to hire our lifeguard supervisor, James Garbarino, back again this year. We also want to hire Christian Berardi as the head guard. And we need to add, we need to add an increase for returning lifeguards of 50 cents. We talked about it last meeting, but we forgot to add it to the vote, so we need to vote that in. And then we also need to hire Ethan Kovalik, and then I have another seasonal employee as well, Abelo Breno Sarivo Rigo, as,
Thanks.
you're welcome, as a park maintenance, Lake Carmel Park District maintenance worker.
So he's gonna go with Ethan.
They'll go right there. Any questions or comments? The sooner we get James hired back, the sooner the lakes will be open, the beaches will be open, and Bobby will be happy. So, any questions, comments?
And the same rate for.
Yes.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution to hire Lake Carmel Park District's workers and lifeguards. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the summer positions of lifeguards in the Lake Carmel Park District, LCPD. And whereas by email dated May 12, 2023, the LCPD clerk has informed the town of the following recommendations from the advisory board. The hiring of Ethan Kovalek and Abilio Breno Saravia Rigo as the returning Lake Carmel Parks Department maintenance workers at a rate of $17 per hour. The hiring of James Garbarino as the Lake Carmel lifeguard supervisor at the rate of $9,750 for the 2023 season. The hiring of Christian Berardi as head lifeguard at a rate of $18 per hour, and that all returning lifeguards receive an increase in pay of 50 cents per hour. Whereas the town board desires to accept the recommendation of the LCPD advisory board as further detailed above, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring and the pay schedules as detailed above, and be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next, we have Lake Carmel Fire Department sent us a letter. They are asking us to appoint 5 new probationary members to the active roles of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. The members are Tony Nimmons, Joanna Tonchuk, Brianda Petrillo, Robert Berard, and Jamie LeBron. So I ask that we accept all these new volunteers. It's impressive. It's hard to find volunteers. I think, is there, do you want to make a resolution?
Sure. I make a motion for a resolution accepting new members to the Lake Carmel Fire Department, Town of Kent. Whereas the Lake Carmel Fire Department has recommended the acceptance of Tony Nimmons, Joanna Tunchuk, I'm brutal up with these things, Brianna Petrillo, Robert Berard, and Jamie LeBron as new members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. And whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to accept the recommendations of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts and welcomes Tony Nimmons, Joanna Tunchuk, Brianna Petrillo, Robert Berard, and Jamie LeBron as new members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm going to add an item, and then you can add an item.
Okay, very good.
I make a motion to add an item to the agenda.
Regarding,
Excuse me, it's to advertise for a part-time data collector.
second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So I make a motion to authorize Yolanda DiCapelli to advertise for a part-time data collector in the assessor's office. I make that motion.
I second the motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we're good?
Yeah, I said
Okay.
aye.
There
I
you
said
go.
I beat him to it.
Okay. All right, now you're up.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to add something to the agenda. It's in reference to the sewer district.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the sewer district, as I'm the liaison to, but it normally has a committee, and it's basically defunct because the sewer district's been doing nothing for the past decade. So I'd like for the clerk to put an advertisement in for people to volunteer for the sewer district. They must be, have a business on the sewer district. In other words, participate in the sewer district. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Who wants to be Chris tonight and read the vouchers?
I'll do it. I need the vouchers. He does it so well.
That's why I know they weren't fighting to take my job when I wasn't here.
I'd read them if I had them.
Okay, well, can I have this?
Email.
Thank you. Here you go.
I make a motion to adopt the following vouchers for May 16th, 2023. Atlantic Pavement Markings, $9,432.58 for double yellow center line. Barton Lo Judas, $5,727 for water systems for the water districts. Berthum's Neversink Lumber, $11,378.22 for beach number 4 bulkhead lumber. Dunright Excavating, Inc., $32,680 for the Lake Carmel walking path. First Person Sports, $4,855 for spring laser tag. GenServe, $2,153.84 for a service generator. Global Montello Group, $8,732.11 for diesel. Greco Outdoor Contracting, $5,900 for the beach 4 bulkhead. Home Depot, $2,001.40 for leaf bags. Insight Engineering, $5,688.28 for Lake Carmel walking path. Magna 5MS for $6,405.28 for network services for May. MJB Enterprises, $2,240 for beach sand. Nycomco, $2,972 for two-way radios for the police for May. New York State Department of Civil Service, $257,964.92 for health insurance for May. PKF O'Connor Davies, $13,925 for the audit. Ring Squared, $3,459.07 for telephone services. Spain Agency, $83,643.55 for insurance installment. State Comptroller, $42,110.50. Fines and fees for the Justice Courts for March. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $20,021.78 for chargebacks for the highway for February. $3,359.61 for chargebacks for the recreation for February. Wind Carding, $8,826.68 for Lake Carmel garbage. Wind Carding, $9,375.72 for Lake Carmel garbage. Wind Carding, $9,047.11 for Lake Carmel garbage, and Wind Carding, $8,566.10 for Lake Carmel garbage. I make the motion to adopt those
That are over the threshold.
that are over the threshold for May 16th, 2023.
What was that?
Royal Carney, was that approved for 3 signatures tonight?
If you're referring to the one that I found in my box tonight, it's been signed off, but it has to get logged in, and it will be on the next meeting.
Tonight?
What was that?
You just found it tonight?
Correct.
If we have the amount of it,
We
we
have
can,
it, we
we
can
can
add
add it to, we can add it to the do you know the amount of it?
It's on the table in the workroom.
Do you want to grab it so we can add?
So what was it? Do you know offhand what it was?
I'm sorry,
Do you know offhand what it was? I know you're pretty good with the numbers.
the amount?
Yeah. So we could save a trip. All we have to do is add it. This is what?
May 3rd.
Okay. So we're going to add this one to that list. It's the amount of $5,257.64.
$5,276?
No, $257.64.
Okay, so
And that's for-
525764.
Yes.
And that's Royal
That's for
Carding.
Royal Carding.
Okay.
Okay, so.
And that's for Kent Recycling.
Okay, so Jorma made the motion. Who seconded that?
I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, thank you. I have a couple of announcements. Let's see. Anyone that needs to take the lifeguard class, we are offering it in a couple weeks. Please contact Mike O'Brien, or you can contact the Lake Carmel Park District Clerk's office, and we will have more information. We're also still accepting lifeguard applications for the 2023 season. Coming up in July and August, we are bringing camps back to Kent Rec. We have volleyball camp and sports and games camp. You can check our website for any for any information on those camps. And then on Saturday, June 17th is the Lake Carmel Park District Annual Fishing Derby. Registration begins at 8:30 a.m. at Beach 4, and the last weigh-in is at 11 a.m. You can call the Lake Carmel Park District Clerk at 845-306-5602. That's all I have.
Yep, as far as that the fishing derby is concerned, so I was speaking with Bobby, and if it's okay with him, that a friend of mine owns a bait and tackle shop up in Poughkeepsie, and he's donating $250 towards this of fishing gear. I'm going to match his donation. And a friend of mine who's a Lake Carmel resident, her name's Trina. The word avid doesn't cover her properly as far as being a fisherman, hunter. She's going to be there. She's going to bring some of taxidermied fish that she has, like these suckers that are huge, so that the kids can see what it is that we'll be fishing for. So any kids that come along, it will not be on the free fishing week though, so you will need a fishing license if you're over 16, is that correct?
If you're 16 and over.
So if you're 16 and over, so 15 under, don't need it, 16 and over, you do. You can go to the town hall and get a fishing license before that day.
Right, you do need to bring identification and the fee of $25.
$25 and identification at the town hall, get your license.
Ann, you're up.
Okay, June 10th, Saturday. Remember, we have e-waste drop-off here for Town of Kent residents, as well as medication take-back, and that's running from 9 to noon. I have a couple things to highlight from the library. I went through the website. I encourage you to do the same. I found 2 events for adults coming up on the 22nd, which I believe is Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. There will be a presentation by Dr. Michael Zeilhofer, and this is on the Dragonfly mission to Titan, one of the moons of Saturn, which might possibly have conditions that could support life. And so there's a mission to go there and look for that, and this will be a presentation about that mission, 6 to 7 p.m. in the library program room on Monday the 22nd. And then there's going to be a virtual program on the 24th from 6 to 7 with Jeffrey Urban of the FDR Presidential Library and Museum, and this is about baseball and the presidency. So if you're a history and or baseball buff, this is for you. Also, I wanted to mention, I just found out that Monday is the International Day for Biological Diversity. This was declared by the United Nations. A lot of people might be wondering, what do we mean by biological diversity? But the diversity of different species that we have is vital for all of the different food, medicines, clothing, fuel, shelter, everything that we have depends on having vibrant ecosystems and diversity. And so the UN has a number of sustainable development goals for human health and planetary health, and the idea there is that by sustainable, we mean that the planet will continue to sustain life on into the future. So this is an important challenge for us. And this year there was an agreement apparently in December about setting goals for measures to stop the loss of biodiversity and support species diversity. So here at home, you may be aware that there's natural resources inventory work being conducted in the town, and as part of that, a couple of our local scientists, biologist and botanist Bill Buck and Beth Herr, former chair of the Conservation Advisory Committee, have been doing a detailed study of biodiversity in Kent. They're looking for all kinds of different species, and they have numerous scientific experts who are examining what they find and giving us information. They found a number of species not formerly found in Kent. So again, just wanted to recognize the importance of biodiversity and the fact that we're doing our part here at the local level. Thank you to our volunteers for that and to the Conservation Advisory Committee. And that's all I have. Thanks.
You good? Okay. Public comment? Yeah.
I'm not really ready for this. My name is Charles Agro. I live at 396 Horsepound Road. I just came home tonight to find out that there is there's a no parking sign on Deer Hill Court. I know the issue is me, partially me. What happens is every year when I go to clean my driveway for my fall cleanup, my spring cleanup, whatever I do, I park my cars on Deer Hill. The reason being is anybody that's been on Horsepound or lives on Horsepound knows it's very windy and you can't park on Horsepound because everybody does 80 miles an hour. So every year, the police show up at my house. I haven't seen this gentleman yet, but every year they show up at my house because somebody calls the police to tell them that I'm parked on Horsepound Road. So I was hoping that tonight somebody was going to be here from the Highway Department to ask this question, but Sunday, not this Sunday, the previous Sunday, I parked there to clean my driveway. As I'm parking the car, somebody approached me that lives up Deer Hill and was basically telling me, why are you parking here? You can't park here. I guess he thinks he owns the road, but that's a whole nother story. I do it 3 times a year. I park my car in the street, and every time when the police come, they come to my door, or 9 out of 10, I'm standing there with a leaf blower on my back, trying to clean the driveway, and they tell me that, yes, you're parked legally, just when you're finished, if you don't mind moving the cars. Tonight, when I came home, there's a says no parking on street by order of Kent Highway Department signs. I'm seeing tonight, like, you're removing the Miller Hill stop sign. Doesn't stuff like this have to get approved before they can just put a stop sign? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, so a stop sign, yes, we have to
Okay.
approve it. But those no parking signs, the highway department can put them up wherever they see.
Because what there is I measured it tonight with a wheel. It's 102 feet, but we'll just say 100 feet. There is a no parking sign. It says no parking from here to corner, which I'm parking up at that sign. Beyond that sign is where I'm parking. Now, I know when the cops come, they tell me, oh, somebody said that you're parked in the middle of the street, you're obstructing traffic. I'm not. I'm 100 feet up the street. I'm on the side. I do it 2 to 3 times a year. And all I ask is I park there just so I can clean my driveway, because obviously I can't park on Horsepound. And I don't know why the sign was just put there. I know that he called on a week, like I said, a week ago Sunday. He called the police, and then I don't know when the sign appeared. I saw it tonight.
So because the highway superintendent isn't here tonight, I can't answer for him.
No, and I was hoping he was going to be.
Right, so the best thing I can tell you is if you want to leave your contact info, and I can talk to him in the morning and then get back to you.
Okay.
Or if you wanted to call there directly,
That's
I
fine.
can't speak.
Well, that's
for
why I
him.
didn't know where to go. And then, I
Yeah.
saw the sign tonight, and I saw that there was a board meeting, so I said, well, let me go take a chance and hope somebody's going to be there that I can talk to.
Yeah.
But I know the sign was put up because of me. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I park there 2 to 3 times a year. And it's just if I have a delivery, or if I have if I'm doing yard work, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time, these guys show up. And I'm not blaming you guys. Every single time. And Sunday, the homeowner up the street approached me because I was parking one of the cars. He pulled over and he started talking to me. And I basically said to him, I said, all you're doing is wasting their time, your time, and my time. I don't know why this is bothering him if I park on the side of the street. I could understand if I was parking a dump truck. I'm parking a Toyota Corolla.
Okay, why don't you write down your contact info, and I'll reach out to Richie, and then I can talk to him in the morning if that's okay.
Because I noticed today there's a sign on either side of the street. But I'm parking, there's a no parking sign from here to corner. I'm parking beyond that sign. I'll admit it, in the beginning, I did one time, I parked in front of it, I didn't see the sign. The cop was very nice, he says, just back it up. And every time they come, they say, no, you're legal, there's nothing wrong you're doing. And now I'm seeing these signs.
Okay.
And
At
the
the
thing
end
is.
of- At the end of the meeting, I'll come and I'll get your info from you,
Okay,
and we'll,
that's fine.
if that's okay.
Thank you.
We can't speak for Richie.
No, that's why I was
And
hoping somebody would be here, and like I
know.
said, I just saw the sign an hour before the meeting, and I said, I looked it up, and it said May 16th, said, let me go, hope he's there.
Right. Stop signs, we have to approve,
Okay.
the placement or the removal of them.
Okay.
So, but not those signs.
But
So-
it's like I said, it's maybe 3 times a year I do it, and every single time I park there, they get a phone call, which is ridiculous.
And they've been very polite?
Oh, yeah, no problems.
Okay.
I haven't seen him at my house yet, but no problems.
Yeah.
We don't expect anything less of them.
Yes,
They're
exactly.
always
No.
great.
Great officers.
Yes,
Yeah.
all right? Thank you.
Thank you.
Sue Kotzer. Cemeteries, don't they need to be cleaned up, the ancient cemeteries? I went past the one by the church over by Gabby's. It looks terrible. I don't know who's in charge of those, but they look, there's a fallen tree or a bush in the front. So if you would look into that, that's,
I can reach out, because it was a contract, and it was a 3-year contract.
Correct.
And this is our last year. So I will reach out to
Okay.
the person that's supposed
Please
to
do.
be
That's the
doing
only
it.
one I happen to go past.
I think they start Memorial Day. The contract goes like Memorial Day through, I don't
Okay.
think, that's why I think it still looks like that, but I'll reach out to
Looks
him.
Looks pretty bad. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sue.
No one else? All right. Do I hear a
A motion to go into executive committee
session
session. There you go. Leave
to
the word.
discuss contract
Oh, to discuss
negotiations?
contract negotiations. Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice night.